church won't touch. The Christian Theological Dark Web Podcast.
What is up, Four Dragon friends and Dark Web theologians? Man, I love you guys. Guys, we got a cool episode that we did with the Sasquatch and Sourdough cast, which is Miss Christina herself, Mrs. Christina, and Jesse, the ex-warlock turned pastor, saved by grace, Jesse. Guys, this was an awesome episode. We had a lot of fun. I'm reposting this one. This is one that we do every month. You guys may know by this point. And Shelly was not able to make it on this one. We were really bummed about that. So you'll notice the beginning here. There's just a little tribute to her. Compliments to Jesse. That was Jesse's idea. And it's a great one, by the way. We missed you, Shell. We love you. Catch you on the flip side, guys. Love you guys.
We used to practice this when someone was absent because it was always like a little token for whoever was absent or missing. Let's say something nice about Shelly.
Oh, dude, there's a million things I could say that are nice about Shelly.
What's your most favorite thing about Shelly?
Dude, my favorite thing about Shelly is how relentlessly she loves Jesus. My God, that woman loves the Lord so
you
much.
Can tell.
So
From the first time I met that woman.
much. I mean, she has been like a guiding mom to me, coming up like from, you know, my small sproutling self to kind of where I'm at, which is not much bigger, but I am where I'm at. So
I love her boldness. She's just very bold. I mean, just in her faith, and even just like with correction, like we were talking about that video or whatever, and she mentioned something to me, and I was like, it really just planted a seed of like, yeah, maybe you're thinking about this the wrong way. It's just like a humble, not like a rebuke, but just
she's a fringe mom, dude.
She is a fringe mom.
For me, it's her prayers. I've noticed this about her. Mm-hmm. Her prayers are powerful, and I'm like, whenever we're like, who's praying? I'm like, pray, Shelly, pray, Shelly.
Yes.
There's just something about her prayers that operate and execute, and you know, of course, she's the mama bear. And you can sense that. And she was so welcoming. Yeah, the fringe mama bear.
She is welcoming, I know.
We're changing her title, guys. That's going to be her new title. Fringe Mama Bear. That's what's up, dude.
All right, we're live. Welcome to Fellowship of the Fringe, everybody.
Actual recording is higher quality than what's shown on screen.
It's always going to be higher quality. Yes. Welcome, everybody. So this is Fellowship of the Fringe. Tonight, I am your host, Christina from Sasquatch and Sourdough podcast. I have Ricky. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Ricky from the Christian Theological Dark Web podcast, and we're all over the place. Come and look for us and find us and hang out.
And what about you, Jesse?
Well, I am the Handyman Preacher. I'm all over TikTok. You can find me there, and it is so awesome to be here tonight. I'm excited, and man, this is always a good time. Spiritually ready to go.
Let's do it.
I know. We, if you are joining us and you are new here, we do not usually have anything planned. We just kind of like to get together. It's kind of like becoming a fringy small group, I guess, is the best way.
It's just something like that. And what's the word for it? There's a good word in Spanish, man. There's why do English words always leave me when I get on with you guys? Maybe because it's been half my. There you go. Familia espiritual. Right there you go.
Yeah.
I know nothing Spanish.
That was pretty good. Yeah. Well, there's only one thing I really want us to talk about, and I think it can open a lot of cans of worms.
Okay.
Which is Sehnsucht, which in German means longing, but in a more niche German context means like Wanderlust, like desiring something that you can never really get in your hands. Like it's what the Bible calls longing for eternity, basically. Like that's the short version, right? But yeah, I mean that's really it. I want to share some testimonies with you guys, but I don't know where you guys want to go with it, man. You tell me.
Well, I like that idea. So actually, we talked about that because there was a book, right? The Homeward Ache.
Yeah.
This Homeward Ache. And I really liked the idea of that because it says how our yearning for the life to come spurs on our life today. And I thought that was really kind of interesting because when she talks about like nostalgia, she talks about homesickness. It's just kind of that, like, we know that this is not our home. Like there's just something innately in us that reminds us. And she goes through these like really beautiful kind of
highly prosaic.
It's
like,
very prosaic. Yeah. And it's almost just kind of, I feel like it's more about like her, I don't know.
It kind of feels like she's processing stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like her own, it's like an autobiography, but like an autobiographical reflection on everything she's done and how she's assimilating all that information and stuff.
Because it's
really
interesting. It's an interesting concept, but you kind of can't just be like, it means hidden yearning and then leave it there, because she kind of talks about like just desire for like far off places. And I don't know if anyone's ever like experienced that. I'm trying to find a passage that she
there's a tons of good ones, man. I like kind of that centers around what that means. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And it's funny because the reason I picked up this book was because I do a lot of hiking, and there's this one specific place that I go for years. And it's kind of one of those, like, it's a big open field, but it has like kind of a track around it. And in the middle is this huge river birch. Like, it's like my favorite tree ever. And it's just beautiful. But it's funny because there are times, and this exact feeling I had where it was just this like ache in my heart that I couldn't really like articulate. I had that one day. I was just kind of walking. It was like a beautiful spring day. Like, I mean, you know, all the wildflowers, all that stuff happening. And then I kind of walked past the tree and got this like glimmer of, I don't know, just like sun caught my, and something just inside of me was like, oh, I know this feeling, but it's not here. It's just really, really strange.
It's kind of unplaceable.
Yeah.
I have this all the time, like nostalgia. It's weird. And I can, the longing forward is like the longing backwards. The only thing that exists right in this moment is this moment.
Yeah.
And so like, I think about going back to the past in the 90s, I'm longing for those days. And, when I think of looking forward to heaven, seeing the people that we lost, that sort of thing, that's the feeling I get. And it's like Wanderlust. It's like somewhere you can't go back. I think that's why nostalgia is so powerful. Because I have places in woods with trees and, scenery that I think of.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah. It just randomly hits me while I'm driving, and I'll just like the happy place off of Happy Gilmore, is it?
Yeah, his happy place.
Go to your happy place. Go to your
Except there's no women, no beer, or nothing.
Yeah. Go to your happy place.
But yeah, that's sort of that feeling, man. Oh, I completely get that. It's
I forgot about that stupid scene. That's so funny. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, but apparently I don't know. I didn't watch the whole, like the second one, but apparently it was really good.
I haven't seen that one either.
I've seen almost all of it now. It is actually good. You got to give it a real shot.
Yeah.
You got to go back to your 90s thoughts, not this modern day.
Well, isn't that funny though? Because, I know. But like nostalgia is like completely trending right now. Everyone talks about nostalgia.
Really?
Like it's this whole thing on just on like Instagram, like it's a whole thing about nostalgia going back to, I don't know if it's specifically our generation, and it's just so weird.
It really is. It's like millennial.
It's
like this big millennial, because our generation's the last one to bridge the two gaps, and those feelings don't exist anymore at Christmas for these kids because they're too encompassed by like, the iPads, and they have immediate results. When our parents said Santa was dancing on the roof, we were like, wow, that's magical. Now kids are like, well, the iPad says he's not real. So
the iPad says that he's currently over Sweden.
Exactly, because you can track it. No, that's so true. That's so true. That's funny.
Man. Yeah, no, that's very true. But the more I read her book, one thing that I really liked about it is that there's different ways, kind of like how you guys are explaining. There's so many different ways that you find yourself stuck in that nostalgia or that wanderlust, or and I know that their nostalgia is kind of a more she actually talks about this, but it's like a more attenuated kind of sad thing, because like it's like you can't go back to that. That's how you feel about nostalgia, right?
You can't go back.
And
hey Bennett's on from Broadcasting Scenes.
Oh,
hello, friend.
What's going on?
It just really, it's one of those things where you just stay in that kind of melancholy state, right? You're like, man, there's just no way to go back. And in Spanish, we say, to remember is to live again. And I think that that's really true. Like you go back to those times and it causes this flood of emotions. Like you're just like, dude, there's no way I can go back and do those. Like those things just won't happen again. They just won't, you know?
I get that feeling when I think about like my grandmother's house. Like 100%. think about like all the places that don't exist anymore.
I know.
Right? And it's not just like, I mean, we could get into that like whole de-beautifying everything around us.
Yeah.
Kind of, I mean, all of this kind of always ends up tying like hand in hand. Oh, Bennett said he's Gen X. Okay. Well, yeah. Welcome. Gen X. Yeah.
Losers.
No. I am a geriatric millennial? I don't like saying that.
I mean, that's...
Or technically a Zennial, because I think I'm on there's like a weird
How old are you,
Zennial.
Christina? Or is that a bad question to ask?
No, I was born in 82. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Wow.
Shocking.
How old are you, Jesse?
I actually got to go, guys. No.
So, the slang you guys are using is kind of ridiculous. I'm getting out of here.
I don't even know yet. Wow.
You're 88, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, same year as my sister. Okay. So
Really?
I'm right in the middle of both of you guys. That's weird. I'm 85.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm the oldest? That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like your big sister in Grace.
There we is.
Oh my gosh. But no, the thing is I am noticing that like where it's just like, I mean, I'm not sad about like losing places so much as like, like my Nana's house. I'll never be able to go back there. Like the house physically exists, but everything has been renovated. It's totally that new kind of whitewashed, like that whole thing. Yeah, exactly. What we just went through with Cracker Barrel.
God have mercy.
Oh my God.
They should have just gone full redneck and left it as Cracker Barrel, dude. That's what they should have done.
Cracker Barrel. Oh my gosh.
Whip outside and everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whoa, Bennett, you are totally a Gen Xer. Welcome to the party, sir. Yes.
Hey,
That's
I'm
awesome.
the only one that got problems with boomers in here then.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, just you. I can relate. I relate to them.
Yeah, I don't know where I don't know where I'm at. Everybody says I'm a millennial or an Xer. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I was born. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
yeah.
I was born,
abused and born.
Yeah.
I was born for such a time as this. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
right.
Like how spiritual you brought it back.
Look at that. I brought it back to the spirituality things.
Nostalgia is a great subject because it
is.
I mean,
but you know what? That's what it is, Jess. It hurts, dude. But I don't know if you guys feel the same way that I do, but I've been thinking about this especially since I was reading that book, and I just flew through it in like a day and a half. I was done in a day and a half. I was like, all right, that's finished. It's over. Because I
gotta read it.
I got it on Kindle, and the coolest thing about buying stuff on Kindle is you can just have have Kindle read to you. So I just had the thing read to me all the way to San Antonio and back, and San Antonio and back.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's wonderful. That way you don't have to pay double for the book either. You don't have to pay for the audio.
Audio's worth that, man.
Yeah, exactly. And so she talks about how nostalgia is about sorrow, but like it's more like a death.
Yeah,
because you don't get to come back from that, right? Whereas Wanderlust is like it's pulling you forward, and you're like, why am I not there? But it's out there, right? Like just like the X-Files, like it's out there, but I can't quite grasp it. And I don't know, man. I don't know if you guys, what is, well, I'm going to tell you what mine is. I mean, I think I've told you guys this before, but dude, I know this sounds so cheesy and people have laughed at me for it, but like I long for the Chinese countrysides. Like I just want to be there.
That's wild.
I think
can't
that's
tell
what,
you
like,
why.
brought this conversation on.
It probably is. I found myself ever since I was a kid. I thought I wanted to learn Japanese, and I started learning more about Asian cultures, and I decided that I really wanted to study Chinese and learn Chinese. And I've ever since I was a kid, I felt drawn to Asia. It's not any particular, like just the people or anything. I mean, I just felt drawn to that land.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see those endless rice fields in the afternoon or in the morning when the sun is setting or the sun is rising, and just the entire mountainside and the entire skyline is being reflected off of those pools of water where that rice sits and grows. Like my soul just feels drawn to that place. Or I see those those crazy weird structures that I'm sure you guys have seen. They're these little mountains that they just kind of look like random pillars and kind of round off it as domes, but they're mountains. They're just natural formations. Yeah. I feel like why am I not there? Like that's where I want to be, and I can't explain why. It doesn't. I don't know. There's not any really good reason, but I've felt that way ever since I was a kid, and that's why, I knew that even when I was in college, some of my buddies were, they were learning Chinese too, and they were learning Chinese history and stuff like that. But to me, it was just like, yeah, that stuff's super cool, but like, I could go right now, but even, and this is weird too. I was just thinking about this when you guys were talking about it, but sometimes I think that there's wanderlust for like a certain age of history. Like, I want to go back and I want to be there when the Han Dynasty was happening, when there was peace and prosperity in the land and people were learning all sorts of crazy, wild stuff, and the kingdom was at rest. There wasn't warring states everywhere. I mean, there was wars, of course, but there was just this unbelievable prosperity in Chinese history. And like, I don't know. I'm like, I wish I could just be there, wear the clothes, smell the air, like see what the architecture looked like, see the emperor's palace from the outside. I don't know, man. Imagine what it was like to walk around in those bamboo woods where there's all sorts of weird creatures at night, but in the day there's just this peace and this solemn, and I don't know, man. Just all that stuff just draws me. It draws my soul. And I don't know if any of my buddies or not so buddies in college like ever felt that way. And I just was always like, dude, like I don't know how to explain why Jesus put this weird, and she describes this so well. Now I'm gonna shut up, guys. It's like a shard of eternity that's in your heart.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a sliver, right? Like you're like, you wish you could pull it out and look at it or something. And that's how I feel. Like it's like stuck somewhere in my heart and I don't know where to pull it out of even. Like it's just there.
That's like, I was kind of going to say something akin to that, where it's just like, there's something that God has put in you that has to do with whatever that culture, something that he's put inside of you that attracts you to it,
I'm waiting to figure out what it is. I spent, this is funny that you asked that, or you mentioned that. I often ask the Lord, why in the world did you send me down this rabbit hole of learning about this super random country on the other side of the earth that I have very little to do with, And then you sent me to a country down south where Mexico is like nothing like China, right? And I just always tell the Lord, I always tell the Lord that, and he always just brings back to me, hey man, I've done it for a reason. Like, you'll see, just wait, and I'm like, okay, all right. And he afforded me the chance to travel there and spend time, at least next door, right, to Taiwan, which is a close second. And beautiful stuff like that too. Like I just was enraptured with it. And I wonder, I don't know if, and maybe this is like really weird to say this. Well, it's you guys. I think you guys are fine.
Welcome.
Who cares?
Yes. Welcome to the Fringe.
What if maybe before I came to my assignment here on Earth, because I think that when people talk about karma, I'm just being super honest with you guys. This is what I think. I think that when people talk about karma and how you don't remember your past life, but they say, well, you're paying your penance or whatever. I think what actually happens is that you spent that time in the presence of God, and God, you had a relationship with God before you came to the earth, and you don't remember any, or if any, hardly at all, if it ever comes up, right? And if you do remember it, it's not in a crystalline, clear, matter of fact way, like we can tell you, like I can tell you, oh, I have a book right here, like I know that this book is here and I won't forget what's written in it, right? Like it's not like that. It's like ephemeral ideas, like when you lose, like almost like when you dream and you know what it was about, but like it just starts to fade into nothing.
It's and so funny that you're talking about reincarnation, because that's where my mind went too, because people would think this is like that feeling that you have.
Yes, I agree.
You could easily say, oh, well, you just in a past life, that's just from a past life. You were, you lived in China when you were in a past life or whatever.
I thought people also would say that. Like, I totally get what you're saying. And I think, that's possibly true. But where I was going with that is, well, what if we'll call it pre-life. I don't know if there's any thing that, that makes sense. And this is a total biblical idea, by the way. This is not a non-biblical idea. Like, the Lord tells us that we existed before the foundation of the world. So we existed before we were in our mother's womb, and before we came out, and before we even conceived, all of those things. And so I wonder, well, maybe I had dealings with some, entity that was over that part of the earth. And maybe I had something to do with that before I even came to this earth. Why and how and for what reason? Like, I have no idea. Like, I can't tell it, but there's something about that place, dude. And I'm telling you, if I could go to China tomorrow, even if it was like in the most poverty-stricken area,
you would just go.
I would just go. I would go. If I didn't have any obligations, I'd be gone. I'd be like, all right, bye guys, see you later. Have fun.
I want to read this from her book. So it's Sehnsucht, right? It's German.
Sehnsucht.
Sehnsucht is a feeling that you are missing something you love dearly but cannot quite explain to anyone.
Yeah.
Not even fully to yourself. It is a yearning for an ideal that floats away in the peripheral vision of your soul, but it disappears every time you turn and try to look at it. It is a puttering through vulgar, mundane struggles, missing a home you cannot quite reach, and at the same time longing for a far-off land you have never seen. It is wanting to be in a place you cannot name, though whatever it is feels familiar. It is wishing to talk to someone dear to you, but not knowing who it is. It is desire, but what is desired can't quite be defined. And that was like, I highlighted that because I was like, man, I have felt like that so many times. And I think that,
good night, guys. That's the end of no, I'm just kidding.
That's all it is. No.
Sweet dreams.
I mean, I think that it's not so much intentional, but I think it's probably just a little bit of aftermath of like, well, here we are, we're in a fallen, broken world. Like, we're not in eternity. We're in this kind of, not that we're stuck, but it's like we get these glimpses,
It's sort of like I've told Shelley before, whenever I heard when I fully absorbed and heard for the first time, like giants and crossing DNA and megaliths, and like my heart came alive. I was like, oh my gosh,
really?
This is the history. This is the history of my world. Like, this is what I belong. It was a deep sense of belonging that I came into. And so I think that when we talk about myths and fables, it's sort of like, actually, that's funny you mentioned that. That's so random. That is how I feel. Although it's less despondent, because when I think about China, I'm just like, I tear up. Like, I just like, I want to go, but when I think about that stuff, it fills me with like enchantment. It fills me with like excitement, hope. And I'm like, dude, yes, like there was a defiant section of rebellious creatures that defied the creator who brought them about, did some wild stuff, and I'm like, that's where I fit in. Like, that's where I belong. And that's how I feel about it. Like, it was one of the things for me that was like the deciding factor. It was like finally all the chess pieces had been knocked over and I had won the game. I was like, okay, I get it. I can finally start living because I understand I understand the whole purpose for being here. I mean, there's tons of other hidden purposes that God has for us, but I mean, the ultimate plan, his plan, like I go, I get it. Oh my gosh, I get it. Like all the weird stuff on earth, all the stuff we can't explain before history, like all of it's there,
And I really believe even like our DNA passes memory down.
Yes.
And I really connect that a lot to like, when these confirmations come, like I had the same revelation with like the Nephilim, the giants. I was like, this is the lost history that has been kept, because up to that point, God was like, there's more than what you're being told.
Yeah.
And that was very, very relevant in my brain for many years as a minister. And, I just didn't have the time, didn't have the care, but it was like something shifted after 2020. That really, I was like, no, we're going to do some deep dives. And I knew from the past what I had and the knowledge. I was like, there's more to this. And one of the things is like bloodline and DNA. I think, if you had a Chinese relative who longed to go back or who loved China that came here, you don't know.
Jesse, that's crazy.
That's good
I
insight,
interlink
dude.
that all the time. Listen, I had a crazy experience, and the past lives thing, it's something like karma. I always push away. I never really dabble with it.
Yeah.
More of a Buddhistic faith, I guess you would say, right? But, I had two experiences. I had a psychic tell me years ago, one of your past lives, you were a sage, you lived in the woods, you loved the trees, you were by yourself. And this is no joke. I was playing around with AI, and I'm like, oh, what were my past lives? It told me the same exact freaking story.
Up.
I'm not kidding
Stop
you.
playing with AI.
Stop playing with AI. But I'm so curious because I want to poke the bear. I want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And when it told me, it was like you were a sage, kings and kingdoms would come and consult you. You lived in the woods. You had relationships with trees. I'm going, what on God's green earth is happening?
Insane.
Now, I don't want to give any validity to any of that stuff.
Sure.
But I was like, man, this is a wild coincidence. Did my phone listen back in 1998 to psychics speaking this stuff?
Ricky, are you doing what I think you're doing?
What do you think I'm doing?
Don't go that guy.
No. I was just looking at the chat, guys. I just realized that there's the chat was there, and I tried to figure it out, but I'm old also, and so I was like, how do you get to the chat? Oh, there's the chat.
I thought you were going to be like ChatGPT. What was I in the past life?
I can legit.
Don't do that.
I'll take a screenshot if I can find it.
Crazy.
That's wild.
And then it said, that's why you have this vast knowledge. And I was like, whoa, that's strange. So maybe there was someone in my past that had this.
Jess, it's not for nothing that people are super drawn to that whole I love that series, by the way. It's an amazing series. Probably one of the best video game series there is.
Which one?
Assassin's Creed.
I love Assassin's Creed.
I've never played that.
Oh my gosh. You should absolutely, even if you just go literally, Christina, if you just go watch somebody play that game,
YouTube.
You watch the cutscenes, it's a movie, dude. It's like a movie of history.
And it's talking about Adam and Eve, the Crusaders.
Really?
It talks about the Templars.
I wonder if my husband's watched it. Okay. Anyway.
And people are like, it's fake. It's fake. That makes more sense than what I've been taught in history.
And it's funny because they always leave a disclosure like that. All of these are fictitious. And I'm like,
right.
Sort of. I mean, sort of, like you can write about history.
Yeah.
What is it well, I'll let you guys know. Vicky talks about this in some writing that she has let me read. I'm not going to give anything away, but she talks about in something that she lent me that how Tolkien, when they asked him, what do you like to write about? Where do you find your inspiration? And he was like, well, basically, I'm paraphrasing because I'm not, not my British gentleman self.
You're not J.R.R. Tolkien? Oh.
Yeah, I know. He basically says, I don't really care for fiction. And you're like,
what?
WT, what?
Right,
what? What? So, and if you look at that lens, like all of that story through the lens of a hybrid interaction type thing, like all of that stuff comes into focus. Gary Wayne goes way deep on
Gary
that
Wayne
stuff.
does that. Yeah,
he totally does. But the more I've looked at those books, the more I'm like, yeah, dude, frickin' A, yeah. Like it's no wonder he had drew so much. And actually, he talks about how I watched this guy's little YouTube short about why he never did a sequel after Lord of the Rings. And the only thing that he was going to talk about, he said there was no more elves. There was no more, none of that stuff was left. And so what he had started writing, the small portion that he wrote, was an interaction between two men. And one of the men was inviting the other one to basically join a ritualistic coven type thing. I mean, and it was
really?
That they were breaking off into secret societies and stuff. And so he was like, there's all I'm going to do is smear Lord of the Rings. And it's an infinite cycle of sin, of death, like there's no hope there. And so he didn't want to write it. He's like, I don't want to write about that. That sucks,
Yeah.
So, I mean, Yeah,
Nobody
dude,
wants the downfall.
Gary does go hard, Bennett. He goes crazy
Yeah.
hard. I got to read his book. I have it, man. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet. So, but yeah, so that stuff is very interesting to me because it sort of that whole book. I think for Tolkien it was definitely a trudge through life.
Yeah.
And if you don't look at it through that lens, through that, we'll just call it the Nephilim lens, right? Like if you don't look at it through the Divine Council lens, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's fun, it's awesome, it's inspiring, but it doesn't. You can't really find a cohesiveness until you understand that portion of it. And it's funny because she loves that book, dude. This author, she loves that book. She quotes it. I don't know how many times.
She quotes Lord of the Rings all.
I mean, she wrote like half of the book and of the Lord of the Rings in her own book. She wrote so much of it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, if you just would talk about the Divine Council, it would come alive. Obviously, I know that's not the content of her book, but you can tell when someone hasn't seen that story through that lens. It's such a. I think that was his Wanderlust, right? I think that was Tolkien's Wanderlust.
Yeah, and where did he get the inspiration? I think he was most likely, probably, definitely inspired just by the Holy Spirit. Like I think that was just like an absolute download, and we get to see that picture of that world.
It's wild,
and we say that a lot on here. Like we really talk about that all the time. Where it's like, you know what, guys? Yeah, I'm pretty sure heaven is exactly like Lord of the Rings in some ways. Like it's just getting weirder and weirder down here with people's encounters and what people are experiencing.
Strange.
So,
I've been dreaming more than I probably ever have in my entire life. I never dream, and I've been
having really weird dreams.
And you know when
it's people chasing me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I have to like wake up and like rebuke every dream.
Get away.
Yeah, like God, I don't know what happened there.
I find that it's been between like during the day when I have naps or like in the waking hours of the morning, like that's when I usually have this. It's really weird. Again, I'm not a dreamer. Like I certainly don't remember it usually. So yeah, weird stuff, man.
Jesse, you said you had like some sort of weird stuff you wanted to talk about. I mean, didn't you say you had like
I always have weird stuff.
Oh, didn't you say something like it was happening recently, or did I not? Am I just making stuff up?
No, I'm trying to think. Listen, there's been so much going on.
Yeah.
So much. Like, I can't even keep track.
That's crazy.
Did you, well, while you're thinking, I wanted to share with you guys this testimony that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've just had so many things going on. So I'll try and do as short of a, summary as I can, but I've been studying a lot for my interpretation test for my state certification. And I passed the first test with a 90, which is amazing.
Good job.
Yeah, I was blown away. I was like, whoa, you need a minimum of an 80. And I was like, I aced it. So that's amazing. And I just have, found myself in a situation in the past 2 months. My God, the summer was awful for me work-wise, guys. It was terrible. Like I was literally like 2-3 weeks ago trying to find another job. I was like, screw it. I got to find something to do in the afternoon because I ain't got money. And
that's crazy.
And I think I shared this with you guys last time, but the Lord was just like, you just got to trust me. And so since then I have been, and I've just been putting things in his hands, but it's funny that you posted that reel, that promo reel, because it's about that basically. Right. But this time around, right after that, the Lord was like, hey, I know I not only need you to trust me with your finances, I need you to trust me with your family too.
Oh, yeah.
I need you to trust that I will take care of them as well when you're not having the income you're looking for. And I was like, dude, you can't ask me that. That's just it's too much. Like that's my only job here. That's my only job on this earth, And that was really hard for me. So I, got through that, left it at the Lord's feet. And then recently, guys, just wild stuff. I just decided, okay, I'm going to be obedient. And he started working on my wife's heart. He started like opening my kids' eyes to a lot of things. I started having all this spiritual encounters and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
And this week, I kid you guys not, this week, one of the dreams that I had, I the first one, it was very weird. I remember waking up and I had a dream about my kid, and it was not a pleasant dream. I won't go into it. He basically wouldn't get out of the street, and there were cars driving by, and he refused. He sat there, and he's like, I'm not moving, until I picked him up and dragged him out off the street and threw him down a hill. I was like, dude, you can't be in the street. The Lord revealed me what that was, and that's neither here nor there at the moment. And there, right after that, I fell right back asleep, and I had another dream, and I woke up. And this is wild, because I didn't know what that first one meant at first. I was like, oh, what is that? And God was basically telling me, well, I'll just tell you. God was basically telling me, like, the devil, the same thing that the devil told the Lord about Peter, that he wants to sift him. He said that that's what he wants to do with my son.
Oh my gosh.
And I told the Lord, I was like, you can't allow that. He's like, I won't, but you need to pray for him. You need to be on your game.
Wow.
So anyway, that one happened, but I didn't get that revelation right away. I have this other dream. And in this dream was weird, because everybody in my church, our church is set up in a weird way. So that when you first walk in, there's a foyer area. And then to the left, there's like a kind of catch-all, like where we have meetings, and we have, like, we'll eat there. We'll, whatever, all the stuff happens there. It's not really an adequate place, but we use it for whatever it needs to be. And to the right is the sanctuary. Okay. So when you first walk in, the foyer is like a weird, strange trapezoidal type thing, and it's usually bustling with people. Well, there was like one or two people that were there, and everybody else in my dream was in that other room to the left, not in the sanctuary. So the foyer was open, and the only person that was really noticeably there, even though there were people walking around, they weren't talking or anything. They were just, getting kind of doing like little random chores that they had to, because whatever was happening in this other room. And my pastor is the only one there, and I'm walking in like through the front door, and he's walking up like he had left the sanctuary, or that place I'm telling you about, this other side on the left. And he goes, hey, he goes, this is for you. And he pulls out he sticks out his hand, and he puts $400 in my hand.
Oh my God.
And I woke up like that.
I just wrote down the number 4.
Oh, man.
Right before you started talking. That's bizarre.
That's awesome. That's awesome, dude.
I always take notes, but you can see it. It's way up here.
Look at that.
I was like, why did I write down the number 4?
Well, that's why, man. He put $400 in my hand, and I woke up, guys. Like right there, I woke up. And this time it wasn't like, what does that mean? God was like, I'm going to start to do this in your life.
Oh,
you need to be patient, and you need to trust me. And I kid you not, guys. Check this out, okay? So that happens that morning. The evening before, one of our listeners had reached out to me on TikTok. And the Lord told me, like, I was going to check our TikTok, because I don't really check it very much, because we don't get a ton of engagement, and it's kind of it's a tough platform. Jesse, my hat's off to you, bro. It's a tough platform, my man.
Yeah.
An uphill climb, bro.
Yeah, it's my man. And so I was going to open it, and the Lord's like, no, shut it. You need to read and go to bed and sleep. Don't wake your brain up. Just be obedient. All right, Lord, I won't. So I didn't open it. And I read the word, I prayed, slept, had that dream in the morning that I just told you, both of those dreams in the morning that I just told you guys about. Went my way. I left. I had to go all the way the crap out of town, had a gig way out where, came home. I was exhausted. And about 4 p.m. or so, I came home. My family was at the table. They already eaten. We're a Mexican household, so we eat late, so you guys know. So that's like our lunchtime.
Yeah.
And so I sit down to eat, and I'm just, munching on whatever my wife has made, which was delicious, as always. And I open my TikTok, and I see a message there, and it's one of our listeners, and he just like writes me this whole thing. And he's like, hey, dude, I heard, if I start crying, you guys will forgive me. He goes, I heard that your last episode, that you've been, in some financially difficult positions. They haven't been paying you what you were owed, and blah, blah, blah. He's like, I just took a job, and they gave me a sign-on bonus. How does $1,000 sound?
Oh my
if I send it to
gosh.
you?
What?
I was like, brother. And I wrote him back, like, guys, this was in the afternoon after I had this dream.
God is good,
and I write him back, and I go, dude, are you serious? He goes, I'm dead serious. All I need is a Venmo or whatever. You guys, he goes, you guys have blessed me so much with what you and Shelly have done.
Awesome.
I just want to bless you if I can. You guys should definitely be blessed in any way you can.
Praise God.
It's crazy.
Awesome.
Dude, and you never know with stuff like that. You're like, maybe he'll forget or what. He's like, he was adamant, dude. Within an hour, he had sent me $1,000. Ryan, that's dude, phenomenal. The Lord will bless you, man. Thank you so much. You met me at a place where I was.
That is obedience.
That's true tithing.
It is. It is, dude.
That's the realism behind tithing, right there.
And so I was blown away, guys. Check this out. I wasn't even thinking about this. So I had a meeting with a friend yesterday. He'd been telling me for a long time he needs to go to Houston and he has to present an immigration, basically an asylum application that he has to update. I'm not going to give all the details because I don't want to put all his error stuff out here, but I went with him. He asked me if I go with him. I go, yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I can cancel my, my appointment in the morning and get it taken care of. Guys, miraculously, the Lord started I got 3 offers for yesterday in the morning. 2 of them moved. One of them got canceled. The other one got canceled and moved to another date. I picked up another one. Somebody offered to take it. And I was like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? I didn't even remember that this guy had wanted me to go with him. It was kind of in the back of my mind, but I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
We end up going. And it was like a 3-hour drive. We drove out to Houston. It was almost a 3-hour drive out there. It was tough. We left at 4:30 in the morning. It was exhausting.
Ugh.
We got home, I guess, about 3. And, I'd left my car at his house just so I could, make sure to help him out. And he was super grateful. And I was just like, dude, I'm just here to help you, bro. I'm just here to bless you. And as I'm pulling out, about to pull my car out, he comes up, he goes, here, man, take this. He puts $300 in my hand.
That's insane.
I was like, dude. And I told him, I'm like, dude, I didn't come with you so you could pay me. He's like, I know. He's like, but let me thank you the way I want to thank you. Let me, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just been thing after thing like that. And
1 plus 3 is 4. I just see the 4 pattern and you're crazy, bro. I really do.
Wild, dude. It's wild. Anyway, I just wanted to share that stuff with you guys. There's a ton of other stuff, but I think that's the most relevant.
But it's so important for especially, to be on the receiving end of that is an incredible blessing. But even I always kind of operate, I guess, on the opposite side of that. I'm able to bless people, and I'm put in a situation. So I was telling you, Ricky, in pre-roll, there were some things, just things that I was kind of thinking that I was following the Lord doing and helping out with just certain ministries and stuff like that. And it was really starting to, I was spreading myself too thin.
Yeah.
And it was kind of becoming this sort of, I guess a plank in my eye, really, where I was not really kind of able to see what he wanted me to see. It was more so just I'm doing this because I still want to do this. And so when I was hiking today, I just kind of got this, I was just talking to God and I was like, why am I not at peace with this? What is this? Why this doesn't feel right. If I'm not at peace with it, then you don't want me to do it. So what is it? And so he was just like, well, let it go. I can't trust you with what I have for you if you are just going to do your thing.
And if your hands are full, right?
Right, exactly. Because there's all these weird, there's another opportunity that's opened up to me I'm kind of still figuring it out, but it's just being able to broadcast my show on actual radio station.
Nice.
Yeah. And so I'm like, well, I can't really focus on doing that and preparing a show, outside of this content, because it would be a little bit more curated if I'm not able to do this other thing. So I just kind of was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Obviously you're right. I kind of settled it in my heart. I'm going to send this email out and I'm going to just kind of, politely excuse myself and just kind of step back because I'm in a different season. And man, when I did that today, it just felt so good to just be obedient. And he made me realize that, there's so much happening in my own area, just my own neighborhood. And as soon as I kind of made that up in my mind that I was going to be obedient, he just gave me so many opportunities to actually walk in it, literally the park that I was walking in, I went, and she talks about this, Amy Lee talks about this in her book all the time, where it's if I wasn't and I can read that in a minute, but it's like, if I wouldn't have done this in a certain time frame, I would have totally missed this opportunity. Like that happens all the time. But like I went to a certain park that I wasn't going to go to. I went to a different park and I was like, it's too crowded here. I'm going to go somewhere else. And just all those things. If I hadn't gone this way, I wouldn't have. So as my hike ended, when I came to the front of the park, it was a different way than when I had come in, because it's just like a big circle. And there was this tent. Like there's a lot of tents that are popping up. People are like kind of camping out in our neighborhood now. Like it's kind of, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's just kind of more and more prevalent. And so the first thing that I thought in my brain was, they're not supposed to be camping here like this. And then I was like, and then literally the Holy Spirit was like, shut up. Like, that's not what, that's not the response that I want from you. The response I want from you is you have a whole bunch of stuff in your car that you can bless this person with.
Ooh.
Like, that's the way that you're supposed to be thinking.
Yes.
Like, you're not supposed to be thinking about, like, they're not supposed to be camping, these vagrants. You know,
your name Karen.
I know, dude. That's the word I was thinking of, bro. When you,
I'm writing a letter to the city.
But I commend you. I commend you for that. I was hesitant to share this, but I'm going to share it. I got out of work early today because I got to my second appointment. The first one was really long. Second one didn't take hardly long at all. They were like, "Oh yeah, the lady showed up, but she already left, so you can take off." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, I'm going to go run some errands. I got to go do some stuff." So I went to Walmart. I was going to just pick up some random stuff for my wife for food, and then just stuff for work, like, you know, pens, paper, stuff like that. Just, you know, stationary stuff I needed. And as I'm walking in, guys, this woman was very clearly pregnant. Walks up to me, and she I can tell English is not her first language, and it wasn't Spanish either. And she goes, "Sir, can you help me?" And I go, "Sure, what's up?" You know, in Walmart, it's very typical to see all sorts of wonderful people. You never know what to expect there, right? And so
it takes all kinds.
Yeah,
at Walmart.
And she goes, "I'm 38 weeks pregnant." She's like, would you buy my baby some clothes?" And I go, "Yeah, let's go buy him some clothes."
Yeah.
And I felt unsettled about it, but I was like, I know this is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
I've told you guys this, and when I wake up in the morning, and I didn't actually pray this morning, but because I didn't have time to do what I had to do, but I tell the Lord, I will go where you want, I'll say what you want, I'll do what you want, and I'll give what you want me to give. End of story.
Yeah.
So I took her in, I bought her a bunch of clothes for her baby, prayed with her, gave her some, you know, some stuff, some connections local in the area, my church, and sent her on her way, you know, and I felt like, kind of like you're telling me, like, I felt restless about it. I'm like, why do I feel this way? I called my wife. I told her, you know, hey, this happened, this and that. And she's like, man, and me, I'm over here trying to save $25, and my husband's over here, you know, giving money to this woman that needs it. And she, not in a condemning or a mean way to me, but she was just like, ugh. And that made me feel crappy. I was like, oh, dude, that's not what I was going for. But, I don't know what it was. I ended up watching something this afternoon, and it was these people that have a business / ministry where they raise money to get families out of debt in Pakistan.
Oh, that's incredible.
And because they're slaves.
Yeah.
They're slaves. They're literally slaves.
You have to pay it off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I kept watching that, and I was like, oh, dude. And I kept
generational
coming to me. What's that?
Generational slaves.
Dude, they had been slaves for 180 years.
It's wild stuff, man.
And I like, it just broke me. You know that stuff exists, but it's easy to forget when you live where you live
in America.
And as soon as I watched this video, like all that came into my mind was tetelestai, which means it's paid. Yeah. And it was just breaking me. And so these guys, we're talking about like maybe $9,000 for these people to not be enslaved for the rest of their existence.
It's insane.
Yep.
I know, that's wild.
Crazy.
And so I thought about that, and the Lord was like, what you did is what I wanted you to do. Don't feel remorseful about it. Yeah. Just like I give you money, money comes and money goes, and don't be afraid to give when I'm calling you to give, because then if I'm giving you money, right, and I'm providing for you, then by the same token, you need to have that same faith when I ask you to give something as well.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
give
what
and
kings
take.
do.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's what kings do, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
I preach to my guys because we work hard. I mean, we're contractors. We're rough and tough, hot, heat, cold, doesn't matter. We're working. And, we see people standing on the corners of plazas that have McDonald's and all the places, Walmart, Sam's Club, everything's right there. And they're holding signs saying, can't, whatever, I need money for this.
Yeah.
And what I always preach to them, and God resonates this constantly in my mind. He goes, I'm not calling you to care what they do with the money. I'm calling you to give to them.
Yes.
You may be the only Jesus they ever experience.
Exactly.
And it may be in this moment
Yeah.
that changes their lives forever. And I'm like,
it's hard,
It's
dude.
very, very hard because our flesh wants to judge so much.
Well, it wants to dictate, more than judge. It wants to dictate, right? And you're right.
Yeah.
Judgment is there, but it's more like,
but
what are
you going to do with my money?
Right.
What are you going to do with my money?
You're going to probably buy drugs with my money that I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
That's exactly the first thought. Yeah.
And, even if the sign says, hey, I just need money for a beer, listen, I believe that action sets a motion. And this is coming out of the past. It sets a motion for these people.
Yeah,
I have given hundreds of dollars to waiters, and I'm not bragging on me. I'm not doing this. But
No, I get it.
I'll look at my wife and we'll both go, bless that person.
Yeah.
Yep. And we do. And, I'll never forget, there was a family of like 5. It was mass chaos. And we were walking out of Walmart and she's like, go give them this. And I was like, okay. I took the money and just handed it to him and said, God loves you. And I'll never forget that moment. It wasn't for me to see, but he looked down at her. He looked at her like, how did this just happen?
Wow.
I say, and that was on a Sunday, man. Like all the unchurched are out of church on Sunday. We know where the lost are.
Yeah.
They're out there. They're not in that building, supposedly. So, I was like, this is a great opportunity. And God was like, go bless them. And Kelly, my wife, she reiterated, she's like, go bless that, And I was like, yeah, I love this. And I love getting to see the reactions and stuff. But we are not called to care what they do with that money.
I know. Well, and the point, too, that you just said, right? I don't know which of you guys just said it, like, hey, that's, what are you doing with my money? I think it was you, Christina.
Yeah, it was me, yeah.
But once you give it to them, it's not your money anymore.
It's not.
Right?
It's never our money.
It was always God's.
Right.
It's never.
It was always God's anyway.
My pastor says it like this. He says, don't live open-handed, not closed-fisted.
Yeah.
Like that's the way we're supposed to be. That's the way that we're called.
So many Christians are so
many
greedy.
Christians are greedy.
We turn Wanderlust into Wonder Trust.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
I know. Look at us. Well, no, so like I just had an experience. So, and I think what it really gets down to for me is, when I sent you guys like a video like a couple of days ago, like this thing about like the confessionals.
Oh yeah.
Just I was kind of like getting wrapped up in like this woman's ministry and just kind of like not feeling. I just felt like a little ick about it, but I think it was because it was just God trying to show me something about me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the times when I get caught up in that, and I think that's why he's calling me to fast social media when we do our fasting, because he doesn't want me to get distracted.
Yeah,
because I will get off track so quickly. Yep. And he wants me to be on purpose like all the time so that I can be ready to step in and answer that call. Because guess what? We say this all the time. If you don't answer his call, he'll find somebody else.
That's right. We get to be a part of it.
We get to be a part of it, but you're not, but you don't have to be. So
that's right.
The more that I'm on track with things, it becomes easier and second nature to just follow in like into that obedience. Like I had a really, really cool experience. I love when this stuff happens where I'm going I'm like in the shopping center or whatever, like Target or whatever. And I literally I saw this guy and he didn't have a sign. He just looked really rough and he was like picking cigarette butts like out of the sidewalk. Oh, and it used to be like when I would get a prompting, it would just be like, go, like it was directive, but now it's like, I just know. So I think that's another thing that's shifting now too for me is the way that he's talking to me is different. And sometimes I feel like I don't hear it if I'm not, I have to just be listening. Like I could easily miss it. So it was just like a knowing. It was just like, okay, I'm going to bless this guy. Like I have cash. He's putting me in this situation where I have a lot of cash available, you know, like I'm able to have money, like just from change and stuff like that. And so it was just like, okay. And the funny thing was, like, the guy kept moving. He wasn't like holding up a sign or anything. He was just like going from like place to place to find like cigarette butts. And this area was getting more and more complicated because there's a lot of like shops and stuff and there's people. So I'm literally in my car, like driving and chasing him, like in my car in this parking lot to try to bless this guy. And at one point I was like, come on, bro, I'm just trying to bless you. Like get on a side so I can like I was going to park and get out. So finally, like I had a card for church and then I had money and I just like kind of wrapped it together. And I finally got connected with him because there were times where I was like, okay, this is not meant to be or whatever. I'm just going to drive off. But then I was like, no. Mm-mm. And so I just like rolled the window down and there's like people behind me and I don't care. And I was like, hey man, I just wanted to like bless you with some money. Are you hungry? You know, he was like, oh, he's like, yeah. He's like, you know, I was hoping that I would get some groceries today. Like you're not even, you know what I mean? Like he's not even doing anything about that. It's just like he was hoping that would happen. And so
those are the best answered prayers, dude. When you don't even pray them and God is like, here it is. And you're like, I didn't even ask. He's like, I know. You didn't ask me for it. Here it is.
He's like, just here, I'm doing it. So then the crazy thing was I went to another part of the shopping center because it's like a mall area. I went to Target. I went out and then I came all the way back around and had to go to like where the exit to get home. So you're talking like an hour at least.
Oh, wow.
Dude, I saw the guy, totally different area. And again, it was like I went somewhere that I usually don't go. And it was a roundabout way. And I saw him sitting under a tree eating a pizza. And I was like, man, I never get to see the fruit.
Yeah,
like,
you never get to see it. Oh, it's so
and
good.
I was like, oh, God, thank you. That's awesome. And I didn't even think like, look what I did with my obedience. No. I was just like, man, this is so cool. And I even shared it with my family.
Those are I think that he does that when it's not always, but I think a lot of times he does it when it's necessary for us to continue to be inspired. It's I mean, it's just like Pavlov's dog, right? Like you need, sometimes you need that spurring, you need that confirmation that what I'm doing is actually worthwhile. What I'm doing actually serves a purpose, you know, in his kingdom.
Yeah.
You know, I think you encounter that too when you're in the right headspace of like, I'm not doing this for me. This isn't about me. This is straight up God, man.
Yeah.
And God's like, oh, that's awesome. Here, let me give you a little piece back.
Let me give you a glimpse of what.
And that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Isn't that so wild that God is like that? Like God, why is the ultimate being in existence like interested in serving other creatures that are you know really are inconsequential to him, but he makes us of consequence. Like there's no reason to, and then he delights in us repeating that pattern. It's so bizarre, dude. It's such a non-human way to perceive reality.
You know, I say this all the time. Like Christianity begins with you giving. And people don't understand that. That's the first step in all of this is giving it over.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole continuation of the understanding here is you have got to give. Like you said, you can't be closed-fisted here.
Yeah, no.
And I've seen so many stingy Christians snuff out blessings and opportunities because they're stingy, because they're too Dave Ramsey minded. And I don't want to be that way. But there is a cult following in that mindset that will bind and hinder you. We are meant to be plentiful. We are meant to have abundance. God wants to give that to you, but it requires you first to be open.
Yeah,
you have got to be open. And I have preached this. I've taught this. Listen, I was broke pretty much all throughout my 20s. And it wasn't until the moment of where I fully let go. And I said, you know what? I'm done. God, you handle this. And that's where the business came. That's where the ideas shot up. Everything, because the struggle was saying that I don't have enough. When I just let go and say, I trust you, God, he said, I will bless you because now you're open. You have plenty.
Jesse, that's so crazy because you and I have such a similar background of coming out of like occult and witchcraft, but like that was always my mantra was, you are not enough. I mean, forever. Like I can, I just remember that all the time. And that is such a lie. Like
a lie, man.
I mean, think about that just in general, like of the three of us in this conversation, and hopefully Bennett is still paying attention. We have one person watching, and if there's only one, that's fantastic. That's all right. That's all we need. But
Shelley, you know.
Is it Shelley? But like that would be amazing. But I have a feeling it's Bennett.
It makes my heart hurt.
No, that she's not here.
I want to be here.
But like Ricky, if you think about it, like you are thinking like I don't have enough. Like I don't have enough, in situations. My whole thing was I'm not enough. And then what you just said, Jesse, like it's a lie. It's because he is enough. So that's right. Just it. Like we have to turn over, we have to renew our mind, renew our thinking every second. Sometimes it feels like,
You guys, man, you just touched on something. And I'm going to shift this convo, not intentionally, but holy crap, I have to mention this. So I was reading that the other day, and I don't know how many times I've read that verse, guys, Romans 12:2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh golly, I can't even say it. Like has it ever happened to you guys? Like a Bible verse comes to your brain and all the words of the Bible verse come to your brain, but none of the order does. The crap happens to me.
Yeah,
all the
because
time.
I can see it.
If one
was on stage,
do the thing and conformed in the world. Okay, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable and the perfect will of God. Guys, it never dawned on me. As many times as I've read that, you don't renew your spirit, you don't renew your soul, you don't renew your heart, you renew your mind.
That's good.
What is God? And this blew me away. I went, what the? Why did I never see this? I've been on this kick for a while, and I think you guys are right here with me. I think you guys totally get it. But we live in a country and we live in a culture. And specifically a Christian culture in this country where we think that knowing Jesus is enough. That's enough. It's enough. And I'm like, sure, it's enough if you're going to die tomorrow and you need to get to heaven. That's fine. Nobody's hating
just
on
the
that.
Beginning.
Right. Exactly. And so, gosh, man, I wish there was it dawned on me. That's the phrase. There's right there. It dawned on me when I read this, that God was saying, yes, I did that work in your spirit. And sure, there are things to heal. And sure, there are things to fix. But if you want to grow, you have to let your mind change. You have to let truth penetrate your mind. And you know why I got on this, guys? And I've been realizing this when I'm praying lately. I don't think we realize how anxious this country makes us. My God, this country
every day
totally disrupts your body's electric flow, your peace, literally your vibration. All of that stuff is totally screwed up right now. Like us using Wi-Fi, it's screwing us up. It is technically,
environmentally,
totally, dude, totally disconnected.
Geez, I was around paint. I couldn't even form sentences earlier this week.
Oh man,
that's
you're
very
not wrong.
true. Yeah,
and it blew me away that like what has to happen is that your brain is the thing that needs to be changed. It's and as I was praying with all talking about coming back to all these distractions, it's so funny. I actually watched a reel and the reel's like burned into my head. And as I'm praying, I can see this thing happening. When you look at the brain, and you guys know this is nothing new. Everybody knows this, but I don't think we ever take it into consideration when we pray. Our brains form neural networks.
Yes, neural pathways.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so they get fixated when you feed them too much anxiety, they stay stuck on anxiety. And so your parasympathetic nervous system is overactive and it's trying to trigger and fire because it's used to those neural pathways. So I started praying. I go, God, change those neural pathways in my brain
Yeah.
so that the renewing of my mind will reflect peace, so that the renewing of my mind will reflect the reality that you're calling me to live, not the one that this world is imposing on me. And I always used to think that that was kind of cheesy, right?
No.
Because it was such a pastory thing to say, like, you know, that we live in such a, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like pastors are like, well, you know, brothers, that this is, we're fighting the ideology. I'm like, we're not really fighting the ideology. You know, the ideology comes with it, but that ideology or that system or those pathways of thought, they will cause your mind not to be renewed. They will get, in other words, you'll get stuck on stupid. And I know that sounds mean to say it that way,
that's
but
true. Yeah.
right. Like, and when I realized that, guy, when I read that verse, I went, holy crap, that verse is so deep. It's so unbelievably deep. Like I would never in a million years, it's wild.
You know? It's wild stuff, man. Like, you know, I always pray, make my mind your library, or make my mind your library, because I know, and I have experienced this so much in ministry, preaching on stages, that sort of thing. When you let God operate, it takes about 5 to 15 minutes. Kelly goes, I always know when God really comes in there and, you know, and works. And I was very charismatic. So, you know, African-American churches, that sort of thing, very emotion led.
Yes.
But, you know, it's very interesting whenever those thoughts, you're just downloading them and they're not your thoughts, because normally you know how you operate. It's weird. It's like the voice in your head, that inner dialogue. It's a different voice. You start to recognize a new voice.
It's true.
And, you know, I do this all the time. And there's been times I hear whispers, I hear the demonic, I've always been able to hear different voices. And, you know, but like, it's so strange, the pattern of us. And, you know, in layman's terms, for people that have no idea what the, you know, nervous system, that's like your operating system.
Yeah.
You got to rewire it. It's subconscious. And I know hypnotherapist, all that stuff. But the reality is consistency and repetition is what rewires you.
Yeah.
You know, what's it take? 21 days, which is 3 sevens, right?
Yeah.
3 weeks to reform all of that. So, you know, the first day it's going to be okay. Second day it becomes normal, that sort of thing. And you struggle the whole way through it. I tell people this all the time. If you want to change your life, you got to give it 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You have to. Not an option. So, and we're all wired that way. It's really wild. I see people very anxiety driven.
Yeah.
And, you know, anytime there's a problem that arises, immediately they're panicking.
Right. Yeah, dude.
And it's wild stuff. And, you know, just trusting. I mean, my goodness, coming out of all this stuff, especially witchcraft on this end, you learn real quick that you've got to rewire the way you think about everything.
Yeah.
And Christians think that's a load of just crap. But the reality is it's all brain activity. That's your radio, that's your antenna. That's what's sending everything out. If you say stuff like money doesn't grow on trees, you're sending that out. That's all spoken death. You got to say, instead of saying, how can I get, or I don't have the money for this, how can I get the money, or how's God going to provide the money?
Yeah, man.
And he will, man. There's opportunities you open up, and it's all intention, right?
That's wild.
Yeah, because we just have to start speaking his promises. Like,
that's right.
I mean, that's really just it. And it was interesting, Ricky, that you brought up when you were saying that, like, getting back to that scripture, you know, about our mind and how that's the only thing. Like, he doesn't, every other promise is not about, he doesn't really give us promises about our mind, but he promises to renew our heart. He promises to renew our spirit, to, you know, all of that stuff. He doesn't say, I'm going to renew your mind. You have to do it.
You do it. Isn't that
You
wild?
do it. Good luck.
So crazy. Good luck to you.
Yeah. That's guys, that's the playground, man. That's that's the mystical portion that we get to occupy. That is the free will offering that God gives to us, man. That's so what we get. It's awesome. It's freaking awesome, dude. You nailed something just now, Jesse. Like, came into my brain. You said 3 sevens.
Yeah,
to
3
renew
sevens.
The heart, the spirit, and the mind.
Yeah.
On the first week, you renew one. On the second week, you renew the other. On the final one, all of it's in sync. That's wild,
That's
dude.
crazy.
It is wild. It's all numbers, man. Everything is number based. I say this all the time. Like, if you just see patterns, it will change your life.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I think it makes us nervous, right? Because we've grown up in such a puritanical mindset that it's really hard to break out of that. Dude, I'll give you guys a for instance today. Today I walked into a school, been there before. I was interpreting for like a PTA meeting and then like a meet the principal and ask questions. So there's all these parents there and
back to school.
Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ladies that was basically running the whole thing, she mentioned something super random to me when she walked in, and she had on her like thermos type thing. She had her water thermos, but it had all these like Mexica like codex images.
Oh,
like Aztec symbols.
Okay.
Shorthand expression. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. And so I go, hey, can I see that? She goes, oh yeah. And she showed it to me. She goes, oh yeah, this is the breath. This is spirit. This is blah, blah, blah. She started telling me all of it. And she goes, I'm an elder and I preserve the codex. And I go, the what?
What?
Not like I didn't know what it was, but I was like, you do what? And so we finished up. It was a long session, and we finished up. I was like, and I waited a long time because I wanted to ask her about it. And she's essentially like an elder that preserves the content of the codexes, of these Mexica codexes. And it was funny, man. I could hear, at the same time, like I'm totally respectful of it. I get it because that's ancient knowledge that's passed down. Yeah. And it's not, pagan or otherwise, it's ancient for a reason. Mm-hmm. And so I just listened to her talk, and she was talking about how, I'm sure you guys have seen, these gods, these Mexican gods, these Aztec gods, right? Mm-hmm. That they are they're very grotesque looking and very weird looking stuff. Yeah, they're creepy, weird looking dudes. And she was like, but they're spirits. What she said? No, they're energies. Like when we need rain, we call for the rain. And I go, are they? And I didn't say anything to her, but I thought to myself, are they spirits? Because if they're spirits, then they're sentient. Because energy is drawn from sentience, but someone has to send out the energy. Who sent the energy out for the sentience, for there to be sentient energy, or whatever? You can mix those words any way you want.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the way the enemy plays. But the point here was that I had this opportunity to kind of mix with her and kind of have this back and forth. And when you're willing to, first of all, I will say, God has to call you to it, right? Mm. Don't just like jump out full force, just like you wouldn't confront principalities. But right. I think when you follow a path where you're really trying to understand God's world, He's gonna provide you the right path.
Right. I fully believe it.
It was you too, actually. I was watching you guys' episode, or listening to you guys' episode, Christina, and there was a particular time you said you walked into a bookstore because you were looking for, wasn't it Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible?
No, I was doing some research for.
Oh, that's right.
Like an intercessory prayer group,
right?
Kind of akin to what this lady was talking about on that Professionals podcast.
And then you picked it up, right?
I found it. Yeah, but what happened was I was in a building that I was cleaning out this apartment, and they had a bunch of like occult books, and I picked it up and I just like thumbed through it because I had never read it.
Yeah.
And stupid me, like I'm just obviously not paying attention to anything the Holy Spirit's telling me. But I'm thinking, and this is interesting though, Ricky, because this is the exact thing that I know that I'm supposed to be quitting.
Right.
That's what I quit.
Yeah.
Was doing this research. And so I'm looking through, and because they were trying to figure out, I think it was like something was happening where it was an X on two cross streets. And so what I was looking at was essentially, it was the names of like demons.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking like, oh wow, this is something, maybe this might be helpful for them. And then I was like, wait, what? No, what are you doing? And I took pictures of it.
Jeez.
I took pictures of it. And then when I went home, I was driving home
You started feeling sick, right?
I started feeling sick. Yeah, that's what happened.
Amazing, man. It's amazing.
And it's that kind of thing. That's to my point, Christina.
Yeah.
It's not even deviating from the point. That's actually furthering the point, right? Like the Holy Spirit tells us which way we need to go when we're exploring. And some ways are meant to be explored, and some ways he's like, hey dude, if you go that way, it's not going to be pleasant. Like that's not, there's nothing that I have there for you. Like you can go there if you want, but there's nothing I have there for you. And so I want to give that caveat before I say what I'm about to say. And I'm glad I referenced that, and I'm glad you said that on air again, because I was thinking about, I've been wanting to read these codexes for a long time. I don't know if you guys know what codexes are. I'm sure.
I was going to ask you if you could just define that.
Yeah. So a codex is basically an ancient script. Well, not even script. It's an ancient group of images or symbols that explain some sort of ritual happening or style of life, or just regularities in existence of any given people. And so you have Mayan codexes, you have Aztec, Mexica codex, you have all sorts of codexes all over the place, and most of these were like burned and destroyed by the Spanish, which I don't know, for better or for worse. It's hard to know, right?
Yeah.
But that's all that those are. And so I've told the Lord for a long time, I'm like, I really want to read these. I really want to know what the heck is going on. Like, what is this, right? And I hesitated, guys, when I was talking to her. She's like, oh, you should look up Codex Borgia. Oh, and you should look up such and such codex. And I was like, and I immediately in my spirit was like, do I follow this path or do I put a firm halt on it? And so I accepted her information. She told me about a bookstore where I could find it because I'd never seen it before, and so on and so forth. And thanked her because it was very interesting. I was like, oh, very cool. I disagree with your take on it, but I understand why you feel that way, and I respect it, and so on and so forth. And didn't say any of that, but that's just kind of was my mental process. And as I was leaving the school, I asked the Lord, because I was looking up this bookstore, and I go, Lord, is this something I should pursue? Do I pursue this avenue or do I blow it off? And the Lord told me, no, you can pursue this. This is what I've called you to do. So if you want to pursue it, pursue it. But it's not, it's like you said, it's not, you don't pursue blindly. Dude, I would not in a million years pull a Troy Brewer and try and take on a principality. That's wild. No, dude, no.
He may be equipped for that, but you are not.
At least not right now. I'm not.
Neither am I.
Right.
This is so strange. So Lord of the Ring break here. Whenever Frodo would get near the ring, and like that haze would come over him, and we could hear Sauron or
lose control and stuff.
Listen, there's been times where I have longed to go back to a couple of these books just to do some research. And as I approach, or if I go into the bookstore and I approach, that's exactly, and it gives me chills. I wish you could see the goosebumps.
Yeah.
Because I have those moments where I'll walk in and it's not always the same things. There's different things, and it's like that stop and that scene pops back into my head.
That's crazy.
And I've had that whisper happen to me. Like when I hear it in the movies, it still freaks me out.
Oh man.
Because I think it was Harry Potter I was listening to or something in the background.
Oh yeah.
And that's the first time I realized. I was like, oh my God, that's the whisper I've heard before. And maybe it was the Lord of the Rings now that I'm thinking about it, because that image flashed in my head.
Yeah.
And God's like, you don't need to return to the dark to find out its secrets.
Exactly.
And I'm like, and this is the back and forth I always have with God. And I'm like, well, I want to expose it. Like, well, you're the light. You would do that naturally.
Okay.
And I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So he exposed me that I wanted to go back to.
Wow.
I wanted to go check it out. And, the thought that comes to my mind is, do we do that with human relationships when we're in a relationship with someone? Do we go and explore our previous loves and our previous angst?
Ooh.
God slapped me around with this. And he's like, you're not going to be Solomon in this. You're not doing it. Because the Keys of Solomon is the book. That's the book that I wanted to go back to. And I wanted to do some research on demons and names and pentagrams and, hexagrams. And the reality, God was like, we're not going to cheat on me. That's pretty much breakdown. And I was like, come on, man.
Whoa.
And I was like,
Yeah.
fair enough. I understand the language.
You know,
I won't go
Don't be a
back.
harlot.
Yeah.
Don't be a harlot.
Dude.
Right?
Don't be a harlot.
Don't be a Jezebel.
Yep.
And like all
yeah.
these things come in full tilt like that to me sometimes. And that's, you know, because I'm real careful if I go read anything about ancient Egypt, because I know there was a clear battle between them and Yahweh.
Yeah.
Clear battle.
Yeah.
You know, Baal, I stay away from. I won't even touch the stuff.
Wow.
Because there's a clear I hate you there. You do not belong here.
There's
you know?
a scripture that I constantly go back to, and he reminded me of it today because I think it's so funny. This is the funniest group because I feel like he kind of just exposes all the same stuff to us. Like I feel like we're always kind of working through the same-ish thing.
Yeah.
But when I was on my hike today and just kind of processing all that stuff, because, you know, it was about like spiritual mapping. It was about like, you know, taking down or reclaiming territories, not taking down principalities, but more so reclaiming. And he's always given me this scripture when I'm on this hike. And it's Joshua 1:3. I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses. Wow. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon and from the great river, the Euphrates, all the Hittite country to the Mediterranean Sea in the west. So like, and then no one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. And the thing is with that, like I learned that scripture in that context from this really cool lady who, oh my gosh, I can't even remember her name, but I found her on the internet, like, cause I was looking up spiritual mapping and like how to spiritual map like your area or whatever. And she's from Pretoria, South Africa. She is this little older lady, and it's like the worst video quality you've ever seen, but her teaching is fantastic.
Love it.
And she has this great like South African, you know, like accent. And she was saying like when you are walking in any place, in any atmosphere, people used to write that scripture on their feet because or on their shoes, because it's just a reminder of the authority that you're walking in into any territory, that you can take back any territory. And I did that today when I was on my walk.
So cool.
It was just like he reminded me of that. And I got to this point where I got up this hill, and it was just this reminder of like, it's this big hill that I climb up, and at the top of it, it's this like, it's kind of like I don't want to say like a portico or something, you know, it's just like a kind of like a big gazebo, and people will have like fires there, and there's like a whole bunch of like satanic, over the years there's been like there's so much activity in those woods. There's been murders in those woods, like there's a whole thing.
Wow.
Darkness.
But while I was there, it was just this reminder of, and I was listening to worship music, and I just like walked around and just reclaimed and just did my thing, because that's where he puts us. So everywhere that he puts us is our ministry.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
And so I love that idea. I kind of for a while, I was like, I should get that tattooed on my foot. And I was like, no, how about you could just like imagine it being written on your foot, because it's authority and you don't need to have a tattoo, you big dummy. But anyway, like that's just kind of like, I don't know. I love that. I just love that.
Get socks with it on it.
Right.
Dude, you brought up so many thoughts right now. Let me start with the no. It's really, really good, dude. Shelly and I are going to, I'm going to try and do this as much in order as I can. Shelly and I are going to do actually, let's start there. So Israel, that verse that you just said, Christina, are the actual boundaries for Israel.
Oh, okay.
Those are the actual real boundaries that God set, and they were never fully achieved. I'm about to be the resident Israelite right now, and taking Shelly's stead right now.
Oh yeah.
But that's why when you hear from the what's the chant that Palestinians say, from the river to the sea?
Yeah, from the river to the sea. Yeah.
It's a direct challenge to God's authority, to Yahweh's authority. It's a direct challenge. Okay. So when you said the gospel, when you said that you're walking with everywhere your foot treads, Shelly and I did an episode that I haven't released yet about the armor of God.
Oh, cool.
And as I read through the armor of God, guys, this is wild. I realized that all, or at least many of the actual pieces of the armor of God are actually offensive. They're not just defensive.
Right.
And one of those is the gospel of peace. And I'm going to explain why. So as I was studying this, and I actually got to share, this is what I got to share with the youth at our church, which was really cool. So it's funny, if you read it, it doesn't actually say that you put on shoes. That verse doesn't talk about putting any shoes on. It doesn't talk about anything.
Thinking that, yeah.
It's weird. It says to put on the gospel of peace, of the readiness of peace. Well, why does it say to put the gospel on your feet? Have you ever asked yourself that? And most pastors will say, well, it's because you're taking the Lord to the nations, and you are.
Yeah.
That's certainly true. But if you look at it from an Old Testament context, and you look at it from a Deuteronomy 32 worldview context, all of those nations were allotted to evil watchers, to evil sons of God. And so when you take the gospel of peace, you are literally stealing back land.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because
that is interesting.
when you and check this out, this gets even cooler. So it's for territory, but it's also for humans, because humans, after Christ dies and raises again, we become territory, which is why demons are so hell-bent on possessing us, right? They want a body too, right? And so they want to take advantage of that territory as well, because then they can have more influence and sway and so forth, right?
That's right.
So when people get saved, when they come to Christ, when they come to the saving grace of Jesus, that territory is lost to them. That territory becomes impeded to them. They can no longer occupy it. And so you're literally physical parts of the earth you're reclaiming. And then when you take the gospel to them, you're reclaiming them as part of that territory too, which is a wild concept and opens all sorts of crazy questions like, well, what does that mean then? Like, what the heck does that actually mean?
Yeah.
And you talked about taking back the land, and you were just blessing it and stuff like that. This is a total offshoot, but you'll probably remember this when we talked about the Hopi. And
yes, that was a great episode. Yeah,
the Hopi purify the land, guys. They actually have a ritual for purifying the land.
Wow.
And so I don't think that that's outside of the realm of normality. Like, I think that we should regularly be thinking about how we're blessing the land that we're on. You know, I'm going to have the youth in our backyard here. We're going to watch. This is so great. I'm so stoked. We're having a movie night, and the youth pastor, she's like, well, I'm not going to be there. She's like, you're going to have to choose the video. You're going to have to choose me. They wanted to watch The Pianist. And I was like, dude, that's such a heavy movie.
So heavy.
Like,
choose something else. How old are these kids?
I know. And so I was like, who was it? I know. Well, but I want it to be relevant. Like, I want it to be fun, but relevant to them.
Right.
And so I think it was, I don't remember who it was that suggested it to me. They were like, why don't you watch the Ark of the Covenant, Indiana Jones? And I was like, dude, freaking A, that's awesome. So that's what we're going to watch.
That's my favorite Indiana Jones.
It's so great. I love all those stupid movies, man. Even the new one, it's so good.
Right. Isn't that the one with his dad?
Which one? Indiana Jones?
Yeah, with Sean Connery. Is that the one?
Sean Connery.
Yeah. Is that it? I love it. I love it when he slaps him for being blasphemous.
Oh, yeah.
That's for blasphemy. It's my favorite.
You can't say that, India. You can't say any of that. So we're gonna watch that movie because
that's great.
It's awesome to get them thinking about what happened, what's going on, and then they'll start reading into it and be like, holy crap, what's going on here? Like, it's all kinds of wild. And but now that I'm talking about it, I'm gonna go out and pray for my lawn. That's where these kids are gonna be sitting, and they're gonna be absorbing the word of God, to bless that land, to purify that land that God's given to me. It's crazy, man.
We used to call them Jericho marches. That's what we would call them.
Yeah.
And we would walk around the schools, pray for the schools, pray for the territory. Anywhere you can do this. And it's so important. That's why I was like, put a Bible in the concrete. Why not? It's a bury something there, right?
Oh, yeah. You told me that when I was doing my porch. And you know what I ended up doing?
Putting it under. No,
I didn't. I missed the opportunity of that. But when they poured the concrete in the foundations of like the whatever I don't know what they're called, like the 2x4s or whatever they used.
Oh yeah, the 4x4s.
I just drew like crosses in the undried, in the wet concrete. And I was
pretty
like,
much
the same thing.
It's protection.
Yeah.
And, we used to have old ladies that would walk around the church every morning with anointing oil and bless
Yes.
the pews. And, everything has a resonance. So,
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I anoint all the time. Yep.
I don't know, any land you live on, if it's been tainted, it holds an energy. We know this.
Yes, sir.
Right? And, we talk about this all the time on our lands. I live in a cul-de-sac, but everything grows like crazy on our land. So we know the electromagnetic field or whatever is super heightened. I can literally put a dead plant and it'll come back to life.
That's
And
crazy.
it's insane. I have to send you pictures of our snake plants. Of
That's
all
awesome.
I have never had one plant die in our house. And chia. We just grew one of those. That thing looks like it got a fro, but you just learn really quickly. And even doing witchcraft and stuff. And I think that's why there's certain places selected for these things. Even where CERN is and all that stuff is all hand selected. These temples were hand selected because of the energy on the land. And that's why Israel and Palestine fight over a piece of land.
Yes, sir.
Constant.
Yeah.
The Temple Mount. And there is power in all these places, but we are to claim them, right?
Yeah.
Claim them wherever we go. I love it. And
Oh, look at this conversation. Just poof. Just turning into something. Wasn't it amazing?
No, this is great, man. You guys don't know. Listen, you guys don't know how much I look forward to this,
I do
especially
too,
since I haven't been able to put anything out for us, and I don't usually even get to talk to you guys most times anyway. I've been I think we've all been so freaking busy.
Yeah.
This to me, it like supercharges my soul, man. I love doing this. Like it helps me resonate ideas and everything, and it really is, I think that's probably why the Lord tells us to not forsake the gathering, because
important.
We need to grow the mind, right?
Yeah.
The renewal of the mind. And that can't be done except through direct interaction with the world.
Conversation, right?
You got to get into information. You got to get into conversations. You got to
experience.
You got to be relational with people. It's necessary, dude. It's so necessary. Like, I think that's probably one of the biggest failures by modern Christians is that we don't interact with each other.
It's very shallow. It's very shallow. This is the stuff that drives me crazy. Right. And this is the stuff I would always rear against is like, you got to be able to have these type of conversations about brokenness, about building up, about what God's doing, about what God, what you missed on God's territory. All these things got to be discussed. And, we're just waiting for the preacher who has blonde hair and blue eyes and a perfect family and a nice suit and tie. And we're all shocked when they commit suicide, that sort of thing. And the reality here is we need to do this. This is the gathering. This is the church. It's wild. And so many Christians never experience this on this plane. And it's sad. I mean, I'd imagine heaven's going to be a lot like this. Maybe more fall-like. There's the longing. But no, seriously. With people who have gone, that they're like, hey, is that Walmart still in that place? No, it's been gone for 30 years. But let me tell you, and have these conversations. And it's so cool whenever we're talking about this stuff. And I think it's so important that Christians have this.
Essential. Yeah,
I agree.
It's essential, man. Essential.
I agree.
The fellowship. Do not forsake the gathering.
Yes.
The fellowship of the bling. None of the ring.
I know. I totally stole this from Fellowship of the Ring.
What's that?
It sounds. Oh, good.
Oh no! I just said I stole this whole concept from Lord of the Rings. So, hang on. I got to close my door. My dog came in.
Go do your thing.
I was like, "Are you afraid of the dark?" And like, "Do not forsake the gathering, the fellowship of the fringe."
Dude, that's what's up. That's a good tagline, man. I dig it. That needs to be put in there. Yeah, no, but it really does, man. It blesses my socks off to do this. It's
I'm with you.
It's an opportunity that I don't think that anyone in the podcast world is really actually having. I think that they're just gathering.
I haven't seen it.
No, people are just gathering to talk about weird ideas, and I'm okay with that. I think it's cool, it's interesting, and it's useful. But I don't know how much we're building each other up in our faith.
You just don't see, and I don't see a lot of, I'm not overly in the podcast community. because I'm always trying to produce. TikTok's just like a producing system.
Golly, it's so intense.
It's crazy. But, any podcasts I've seen or clips I've seen, I never see where the Holy Spirit just guides and leads the whole conversation. We
Right.
had any plans before this. Revelations are happening right here.
Yeah, man.
Things are being said that we're all like, what?
I know.
This
I
is
know.
what it's all about, man.
It is, dude. It is. And that's and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's really not hardly been any, in fact, hardly in any of our conversations, there's ever any dead space at all. It's like all just go.
It's full tilt.
Yeah.
We're like, oh man, has it been 2 hours?
I know, man. And you said something so good, Jesse, like, people don't even experience this on this side of eternity, man. Like, what? Why?
It's crazy.
I've never understood why people don't see, they don't, I don't know that there's not even a draw there. That doesn't cross their mind. I'm just like, really didn't cross your mind?
I credit a lot of this to my dad, because when we became Christians, like full tilt, serving, worship ministry, all that stuff, doing nursing homes, all that, he would always bring these type of questions. My uncles were free thinkers, so they were always
That's
like,
awesome.
what about aliens?
Yes.
And you just sit around until 1 o'clock in the morning having these weird conversations.
That's awesome.
But it enlightens. It brings things that you would never, ever think about.
It renews the mind.
It renews the mind.
It renews the mind.
That's wild, man. That's wild stuff, dude.
Oh, I think this has been a really good one.
I think so too.
I hope the 2 people that are watching are excited.
Christina, you're so funny, man.
Sometimes I'm like, I think it's probably just me on other apps. Like, I probably have like another.
You know what?
It doesn't YouTube open on my phone. I don't care.
It doesn't even matter, dude, because
I know.
What I've most noticed, Christina, is that people will find us and they'll watch an episode that we did 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
And they're like, dude, this changed my life. And I'm like, dude, I wish and you sit there and you think to yourself, like, on repeat, right? Because you haven't renewed your mind. You're like,
yes,
everything I'm doing is just, it's a waste of time. It's blah, blah, blah. Dude, I didn't even tell you guys this portion, but that guy, Ryan, that blessed me, 2 or 3 weeks before that, like probably 2 weeks before that, I'd been telling God, I don't want to do podcasting anymore. Like, I don't see the purpose.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. And he's like, dude, he's like, you guys have walked me through understanding my faith. And I was like,
that's crazy.
What kind of responsibility is that? That's wild.
That's crazy.
Like, man, don't.
But it's not even, you're not doing it like, I mean, you guys put a lot of work and research and effort into your content for sure, but it's not like you are, you have an entire ministry plan and like this is, like this is how we're going to, walk you through a discipleship program. Like, it's not that way. It's just like, hey, let's just hash it out. You know what I mean?
Well, we also overcomplicate things, man. I constantly come back to this. I don't know if I told you guys this last time we met, but I'm really, after I finish this test, I'm gonna buckle down, start on our content. But I'm starting to venture into the world. I don't know why I haven't been doing this, and start making content in Spanish for Latin America.
I think that's an amazing idea.
I don't know why the heck I haven't been doing it, but I've been wanting to do that. And one of the people that I'm sure you guys have talked about him a million times. Here's his book right here, his version of the Bible.
Oh yeah.
Miguel Martinez, when I asked him point blank, I'm like, well, how do you do ministry, bro? Because the way that they preach the gospel, right, and that they grow their churches, they go to this metalhead marketplace. I don't know what else to call it. It's called a chopo. It's just easier. It sounds so weird in English. You're like, metalhead market.
Yeah,
is that Burning Man? You're like, what's going on? Yeah. And
the Maryland Death Festival.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. But it's every Saturday, right? And so they're out there. Somebody's playing metal or playing punk or whatever. And yeah, it's legit like that. And then there's tons of stands, and you just walk by and you buy whatever you want. And I'm too old for that crap now, but it's awesome. And but dude, they're out there. They have a stand. They have Bibles. They're sharing the word of God. People are getting delivered right there on the street. Like, it's just
what it's about, man.
It's just freaking like Paul and Silas preaching the gospel on the street corner every Saturday. That's what these guys do. It blows my mind. It's so inspiring to me. And I asked him, I go, well, what, you guys are out there every Saturday, but like, how are you guys discipling people? And he goes, oh, that's easy. Like, what do you mean? He goes, I think if people watch you lead by example, there's no need to do anything else. Like discipling comes
Wild
automatically.
thought,
And I
bro.
went, holy crap. I was like, dude, he just like turned the whole church scheme
Upside
of
down.
discipleship on its head.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he disciples by example. He didn't
That's
even
right.
have to do anything, you know, and I think about that. And when you're talking about, we don't have a ministry plan, I'm like, we overcomplicate it. Like
We do.
you don't need to make it
Generally,
complicated. Just listen to what the Holy Spirit's telling you. Of course, there's, you know, there's guiding principles and, you know, there's some structure, obviously.
Yeah.
But you don't impose the structure. You let God allow the structure to work. It's like he tells us, right? Jesus says to the Pharisees, the Sabbath was not made for man. Man was not made for the Sabbath, but Sabbath for the man.
Yes, for the man. Yeah.
Right. He's telling him very plainly, guys, you have free will. I'm giving you the proper tools. You just need to employ them, and you need to know what they're actually for. And so when he said that, I was just like, dude, that's what it is. And I think a lot of time podcasts, I'm not saying it's a substitute for your church or anything. I'm just saying
No.
It's a ministry that it kind of just happens on its own. You don't need to add all the extra bells and
you
whistles.
seek out. Like, you know, this is the beautiful part about like TikTok and podcasts. It's wild because we don't go after people. You throw it out there and people find it.
Yeah.
And God spoke this to me about TikTok. He said, you just keep posting, you just be consistent, and I'll do the rest. And I'm like, well, okay, whatever. You know, in my mind, I'm just being a disobedient little brat. And God has shown me. I've had videos I did 2 years ago come back up and explode out of nowhere. And it brings everybody in.
It's so weird.
So, you know, it's a weird thing, but people find you.
Yeah.
And that's what God wants. He wants wanderers. He wants people who are in Wanderlust to come and find him because what they have is really not that great anymore. And that one little clip can change your life, man. And that's what happens, man. It's so good. It's so edifying. Awesome. Kelly's always like, go do a live. I'm like, I would get 10. And the Devil Worship Talk gets 600 people. Yeah. And, you know, but every time I get to pray for people, I'll never meet Parley and Birth.
I think that's the coolest thing. Yeah.
Well, that's what blew me away about this guy.
Yeah.
I've never met this guy. And he just sent me $1,000. He just sent me $1,000. You know, like, what is that? You know?
It's wild.
It is, dude. I told him, I go, hey man, I really hope I get to meet you on this side of eternity. I know I'll meet you on the other side, but I really want to meet you. Like, and it was funny because we were just back and forth and he was asking me to pray for him for some stuff. And I was like, of course, dude, like that's not even a question. And so it's such a humbling thing. I know this sounds like some people would take this and they would feel like they're this amazing individual, but to me, it was just humbling. He goes, it's so weird to hear you talk on your podcast all the time. And now you're talking to me directly. He's like, it's surreal. I'm like, dude, I'm just a human. I'm just living, bro. I'm not doing anything special that you're not, you know, but it's such a humbling thing to see how God takes something that you think is so minuscule. And he's like, I will post this in the stars for everyone to see for all of eternity. And everyone will marvel and gaze at it. It's wild, dude. It's such a humbling thing, man. Such a humbling thing.
That reminds me of like, so backstage at church, because I'm in like production ministry, the backstage portion, like you walk up the steps and there's like this vinyl sign on the wall. I can't remember the whole quote, but it just basically says like, it's an honor to serve from this platform that you put me on. Yeah. And it's just like this humbling, exactly what you said, like, this is a platform. And I pray that all the time. Like, God, whatever platform, whatever you're opening up for me, let it just serve you and not like, I don't care. I mean, I tell my audience all the time, like, whatever, like, I'm not, you know, I'm a normal person. Don't expect any sort of like professionalism at all here forever. Like, I just don't, it's not going to happen. Like, that's why, you know, God gave me the show. It's my show for him, but it's still kind of, you know, it's going to be but that just reminded me of that. Like, just, you know, it's an honor to have this platform, and he could take it and give it to somebody else at any moment.
Dude.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
And I tell them all the time, I'm like, if I'm not supposed to be doing this, you can just go ahead and shut it down. That's fine. Like,
yeah, me
because there's
too.
plenty of times where I'm just like, I want to quit.
And he did that with me with Facebook, man. He shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
He shut it down.
Yeah.
I said, okay, fair deal.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. I remember. That's right. Because you had
you
your
were on Facebook.
I did Soulful Sunday, and I did it since 2019 as soon as COVID hit, because I was like, I knew what was coming, the global lockdown, right?
Oh,
so
man.
God was like, get out there. And that's exactly, at that point, I was doing no ministry. Soulful Sunday, we racked up to about 700 followers, maybe more. And then Facebook just privated the group. You couldn't share it. I couldn't do nothing. And God, I tried a second group, and it wouldn't go anywhere.
Wow.
And God was like, you know what? Focus on TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. And, it's so good to talk about this, because I don't think content creators have this conversation for other people to understand. It's a ministry, and it's a tough one, because you don't know. In church, when I
there's no feedback,
stage,
right?
I would get the amens, hallelujah, yeah, praise Jesus. People were running around. I knew where we were headed, right?
Yeah.
And Pentecostal, that's what it was. But online, I am talking to the air.
Exactly.
There's nothing. It is me and God. And if God drops something and it's for whoever's on that other end, I cannot argue that it's anything but the Holy Spirit. And they can't either.
Can I?
But if you guys are listening and you feel a little Pentecostal stirring in your heart right now, you can just go ahead and drop a like and a subscribe and a share.
Amen.
I was just going to say, because I have to.
Donations aside.
No, no, I don't want any of your money.
God wants your pearl necklaces if you don't got money.
I just want you to talk to me. I don't want any money from you. I just want your friendship.
There's a Nigerian princess that needs. No, I'm kidding, guys.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, man. I just want to put this out there, because it's not for nothing that this is a cliche saying. But when as content creator, I'm so glad you said that, dude, because people don't understand how content creation works. They think that it's this fabulous thing. It is toiling. It's toiling, man. That's what it is. It's not.
It's an uphill battle.
It is. It often does not feel fun. It feels like, what the crap am I doing this for? Like, nobody cares. No one's around to see any of my achievements. It sucks. It kind of sucks. But you said something that's so beautiful, Jess. And I've talked about this, and I'm still planning to write this book one day. But when you speak into the camera, you're speaking into the ether, and the ether is the connection. The very connection to God himself. That is the light matrix. And so it connects to all the rest of us, whether we see it or we feel it or we understand it or not. It connects to all of us. And so when you're speaking into the ether, you are literally connecting with the rest of humanity. What humanity does with it, that's its own decision.
It's up to them.
Okay,
that's
can we
the
make
rest of
this
the entities too, man. Go ahead.
That needs to be our next fellowship topic.
What's that?
The ether. I feel like you've been dropping hints about the ether for a long time, and I think we need to finally have it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
This
was
great.
a great conversation.
Do you know what it doesn't have as much impact in Spanish, you know that? In Mexican Spanish?
What, the ether?
Yeah, because it's either this one or this one.
Oh my gosh. No. We're ending on a dad joke.
It's a good day. Hey, before we do fully end, something we should do, and it's, we used to practice this when someone was absent, and, because it was always like a little token for whoever was absent or missing. Let's say something nice about Shelley.
Oh, dude, there's a million things I could say that are nice about Shelley.
What's your most favorite thing about Shelley?
Dude, my favorite thing about Shelley is there's two things. One, how relentlessly she loves Jesus. My God, that woman loves the Lord so
you
much.
Could tell.
So
from the first time I met that woman.
much. And I love her. I shamelessly love her love for Israel. God, I love it. It inspires me. Like, I ask her questions about, what is this? How does this work? Help me understand this. Like, all the time, guys. Like, I'm just being totally transparent here. Shelley has been like a mom to me since we started doing this. She's helped me with a lot of concepts I was unfamiliar with. She'd give me a lot of context for things. And of course, I discover things that on occasion that she's like, oh, well, yeah, you're totally right. That's interesting. but she has been like a guiding mom to me, coming up like from, my small sproutling self to kind of where I'm at, which is not much bigger, but I am where I'm at. So nothing but love for Shell. I love you, Shell.
That.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love her boldness. She's just very bold. And I mean, just in her faith, I think that's just,
Overall,
and even just like with correction, like we were talking about, that video or whatever, and she mentioned something to me, and I was like, it really just planted a seed of like, yeah, maybe you're thinking about this the wrong way. Like, it's just like a humble, not like a rebuke, but just
she's a fringe mom, dude.
She is a fringe mom. She's a fringe mom.
For me, it's her prayers. I've noticed this about her.
Mm-hmm.
Her prayers are powerful, and I'm like, we're like, who's praying? I'm like, pray, Shelly, pray, Shelly.
Yes.
There's just something about her prayers that operate and execute, and of course, she's the mama bear. And you can sense that. And
Fringe.
she was so welcoming. Yeah, the fringe mama.
She is welcoming. Yeah. I know. Oh,
that's going to be, we're changing her title, guys. That's going to be her new title. Fringe Mama Bear. That's what's up, dude. That's awesome.
Phenomenal person.
Yeah, man. That's good, Jess. Thanks for saying that, man. That's really good.
We used to practice that ministry because there's always that angst that when someone misses, they don't want to. They're like, is there a negative overtone or undertone? Are they upset?
No,
we're not.
No,
we miss
of course
you.
Not. Yeah, that was a good idea.
I think we should. If you don't, I'm gonna make that one into a little reel and probably put that at the beginning of this episode. Hey, guys, like I don't know if you guys have ever noticed. Whenever I'll put up an episode, a lot of times I'll give like a kind of a. I really appreciate that about podcasters. Tony Merkel does that a lot. He's like, hey, on this episode, we did this and this, and this is what we're doing. And I try and keep people kind of in the loop, like, hey, this is what happened. This is why we did this, so on and so forth. So if you're wondering, this is what happened here. And I think that something like that would be really cool for this episode to be like, hey, Shelly's not with us, but there's a good reason for it. She's hanging out. We miss her, but she's doing her vibe.
Definitely.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
I got to figure out a podcast. That's something I have no idea about.
It's basically like what you're doing, but it's long form. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's there's not really a huge difference, and it's just you promote it essentially the same way. I mean, you just put out the only good thing about long content is that we have stuff like this. We have this kind of interaction, and then you can just pull from it. But other than that, it's the same stuff. It's
same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
You guys are both really good at it. So, I mean, I don't know how it's not crazy viral because I've seen so many. And seriously, the content on both of yours are phenomenal.
Thank you.
It's really good.
High praise to Christina for sure, man. She's really good at it. She's really good at it.
Well, I don't take compliments very well. I'm
That's
going
okay.
to leave now. So
that's because you think you're not enough. So
I'm just going to leave my own podcast now.
Are you guys going to do the Chinese? You do the Chinese thing with compliments? It's so funny. Whenever someone gives a Chinese person like a legit, like not that that's come here to live in the U.S., but like if you meet a person that's Chinese like to the core, they'll receive your gift and they'll huddle it in their hands and they'll run into another room and they'll leave it in the room and then they'll come back and they won't open it until you leave. It's so funny. Yeah. Isn't that funny?
I don't know. It's really weird because I have I do that at church all the time with like pastors because I work with Gen X pastors. So they're just like, cool, you did your job. And I'm like, thank you. That is exactly the compliment that I want. But then when they like go over the top and they're like, hey, I just wanted to let you know you're really working hard. And I'm like, okay, that's enough. Thanks. Okay. Go away.
Like, that's enough.
Thank you. Great.
Oh, you East Coasters are so funny. That's such an East Coast thing, I think, dude. You guys are so like.
There's no filling in like.
Yeah. Talk to me about
we're
myself.
blue collar. That's why.
Here in Texas, we're like, dude, you did an awesome. Well, thanks, bro. Thank you so much. We're so warm.
We walk awkward and we're like, what is your problem? What are you up to?
Guys, no joke. Sorry, this is totally off key, like off of what we're talking about. But when I went on vacation last year with my in-laws and my brother and sister-in-law and their kids and stuff, we were celebrating my in-laws' 45th anniversary. And so we went to the beach out in Cancun, basically Cancun. And I met all these people, some dude from Portugal, a bunch of guys from Britain, They're from the UK. I met some other people. I don't remember, some Canadian guy. Everybody, when they were like, hey, you're an American. Yeah, what's going on, man? Nice to meet you, man. This and that. We were playing volleyball together. What part of the States are you from? Oh, I'm from Texas. And everybody, hell yeah, we love Texas. It was crazy. I thought everybody was going to be like, shut up, get out of here. They were like, we love Texas is the best place in the world to live at. I was like, whoa. Didn't expect the love, but it was awesome. So,
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. Made me laugh.
Oh, all right, guys. This has been really good.
Great.
A great live again.
Yep.
Let's see here. Yeah, let's do a little heart. And then who
Korean hearts.
Who wants to close us out? Or should we tell everybody? We don't have a format. So do you want to just tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, let's do that. Go for it, Jess. Yeah.
All right, TikTok, the Handyman Preacher. You are more than welcome to follow. Check it out. We do a lot of tool reviews, a lot of handyman work, but also a lot of good content, just reaching the lost. Come be a part of the community.
Jesse has some really, really good info about tools in general. And I'll watch it and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know what the heck that was. Like, I never even seen that thing. And also Jesse's a really talented builder, guys. So for real, go give him a follow.
Yes,
there's stuff that I'm like, I should learn how to do that. That's interesting. I was looking I was watching your cooler. I was like, I'm going to ask him how to do that. That's wild.
The cooler stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Oh, cooler.
That's cooler.
Oh my goodness. That's so cooler.
Yeah, definitely give him a follow, guys. For us, for me, for Shelly and I, you guys can find us on the Christian Theological Dark Web, at Facebook, on Instagram. I think we're probably most occupied on Instagram these days. I've found that that's our best place to grow. We're on TikTok, though. We're also on X. You will definitely find and may end up arguing with our lovely resident Shelly. She's on X all the time.
Oh,
so
really?
she's really the one that does X. I just left it to her. I'm like, I don't even look at it anymore. So whatever's happening there, I have no idea.
On there. Yeah.
No, but it's good. Because she pulls up some really interesting content that I don't even know about. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know about that.
Cool.
You can find us at solo.to/thectdw. Solo.to/thectdw, which I need to update, but it is what it is. So
yeah.
Come give it a follow.
Right. And then you can find me at Sasquatch and Sourdough at gmail.com, sasquatchandsourdough.com, where you can check out the encounter map that I do nothing with. And then I'm pretty much just sits there. The poor thing. I made my husband build a whole website and I just don't ever update it. And then you can also just mostly on Instagram is where I am.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
You're on Instagram a whole lot. That's good stuff, man.
We got all platforms.
Yeah. Yes. But that's actually really good. I think it actually works out really good because we can, pull each other kind of our own way. To really help grow, I think, what we're doing. And I think what we're doing is important because other people need to see that there can be fellowship. I mean, that's like what the Bible says. It says you'll know who the Christians are because the way they love each other. And if we don't do that, then no one sees it and no one sees what God's doing. Like that's the essential.
Exactly.
That's
all right. So go follow us, guys. And tune in next time. Yes.
See you next.
All right.
Good
Goodbye.
evening.
We don't even have like a thing, so I'm just gonna.
We'll figure one out. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Do not forsake the gathering.
Do not forsake the gathering of the fellowship.
For in the darkness you are alone.
Okay, there we go.
Unless you experience
the fellowship of the fringe.
I like it.
I do too.
Sold.
All right. I'm stopping the recording now. Bye. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for watching this episode of the Christian Theological Dark Web podcast. For all questions, collabs, or comments, contact us at solo.to/thectdw or the Christian Theological Dark Web at gmail.com. To become a special access member or support our ministry, sign up on Spotify or Patreon. This has been another Four Dragons production from the CTDW. God bless, Shalom Shalom, and Maranatha. Come, Lord Jesus.